Son of a biscuit eater.
What's up, guys? We're the Miser Brothers.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Brad. In this video, we're gonna install and test the APB Big Brake Kit on Sam's 2021 Supercharged F150.
When APB said they were gonna send us their big brake kit for the F150, I was like, send them bad boys on. I'm really excited to see how they compare to these factory brakes. You're not gonna believe how big these things are.
So why did APB reach out to us for this big brake kit? Well, Sam's got the new Gen 5 Whipple Supercharger on, and let's just say he drives like a complete, I forgot my mom watches this. He drives like a complete moron sometimes. Racing, towing, like we do it all with this truck. He goes really, really hard.
1, 2, 3. Six, count it. 1, 2, 3.
So I'm probably a good candidate for that big brake kit. So this kit from American Power Brakes, we're gonna call it APB from now on, easier on the tongue. Comes with 16-inch rotors, guys. This is the largest brake kit that you can get on an F-150. I mean, these are huge. So this is a two-piece design. This is aluminum, and this is, of course, steel, but it has this awesome coating on it, which is gonna keep it rust-free for the life of the rotor. This is gonna dissipate a lot of heat, a lot of surface area. This is what you're gonna get with your rotors. This kit also is gonna come with a bracket to mount the caliper with. This is machine steel, nice quality. It's also going to come with some extended bolts that are a little bit longer than the factory. Let me show you the size of this rotor compared to the factory. These rotors are way larger. This is a 16-inch diameter, and the factory brakes are 13 3/4 of an inch wide. You know, these aren't very small brakes. I mean, the F-150 is built to tow and that sort of thing, so they didn't put wimpy brakes on here, but these are going to be the largest you can get. This is bigger than all the other brands. You can go look it up. I already have. These things are massive, and they're also going to look better on your truck. I mean, compare this where you're going to get rust here over time. I've cleaned this up a little bit on this rotor, to this surface, which is an anodized aluminum, and you're not going to have that corrosion over time. So now let's take a look at the pretty part, the calipers. I mean, look at this finish, guys. Top quality. This is all machined forged aluminum, cut out of one block. You've got your 6-piston design in here. The quality of these, I mean, this looks like it could be on a Porsche 911, a Lamborghini, or an F-150 now. Now let's compare the two. This is the factory set of calipers, and it's a 2-piston design. Heavy, they're made out of steel. You know, they're basic, but they'll do their job. This 6-piston caliper design on these, it's gonna make these stop way better than the factory brakes, and we're gonna find out just how much here in a minute when we do our testing. Kit also comes with brake pads, and before you go, how is the availability on brake pads? What kind are they? These are gonna be readily available at most auto parts stores because they are brake pads for a Porsche Cayenne GTS, and now you're gonna say, oh, but they're gonna be expensive, right? Well, that's not true either, because those same brakes were also on a lot of Audi and Volkswagen products. So they're readily available, high quality, and also not too expensive.
So this kit does require 20-inch wheels to be able to fit. They do have a template on their website. So Sam downloaded that, stuck it on a piece of cardboard, and was able to check it with the wheels that he has, because they're not stock. They're Venom Rex 602s, if you're wondering, because we get asked that all the time. You can get those on the Venom Rex website. But check your wheels before you order the kit. You are going to need 20s. So these do fit a 2015 and up. I'm trying to film over here.
Trying to work over here.
These do fit a 2015 and up F-150. It says F-150 Raptor on their website, but it'll fit any 2015 and up F-150. APB does have big brake kits for Jeeps. They actually have it for the new Bronco. Lots of trucks, lots of SUVs. So just because you're not an F-150 guy doesn't mean they don't have a big brake kit for your vehicle. So most people are going to have a local mechanic shop do this install, because it does require a few more tools than you probably have in your home garage.
We're not most people though, so we're going to show you this install real quick. We're not going to dive into anything very deep, but we're going to show you what it takes to put them on. So first thing you're going to do after you get your wheel off is remove the old calipers. You don't need to actually undo the caliper bolts. There's probably enough pressure off of them to pull this whole unit off. We are going to take off these bolts, what is bolting the caliper to the steering knuckle. You're going to need something like a breaker bar. You're also going to need a 21mm socket on the F150. These are going to be on there really tight, about 150 foot-pounds. You're going to want to torque these back to 150 foot-pounds, so getting them off is also going to be a little bit of a pain. Hence the breaker bar. Get a turn or two on it so we can get a regular wrench on. We also got to do the same thing to this lower one, which is right here. Once you get these two bolts all the way backed out but not loose from the system yet, you want to have a bungee cord or something similar handy. You're going to want to use that to hold up this caliper and hold it out of the way so you don't put a lot of stress on the brake lines right here. Let's go ahead, pull these bolts out. Caliper comes right off. So we've got the caliper hung up out of the way without having any pressure on the brake line. Now we can pull off this rotor. If these have been on there for a long time, some of you guys are going to have to bang these off, but this is a pretty new truck. These slide right off, as you can see. Now we can get in here, clean this face up a little bit with a wire brush. I'll probably put some anti-seize on there. And this is where your new caliper bracket is going to go. So now we're putting on the caliper bracket. It's going to fit with the threads to the front, and we put a little blue Loctite on here. Don't want these falling off or anything. So we'll get this top one started. I'm going to throw this bottom one in, and we're going to torque these to 150 foot-pounds. So a little pro tip here, since I've done the other side already, I did say that these bolts get tightened down to 150 foot-pounds. Don't do that yet. Go ahead and get everything hand tight or backed off just a little bit. That's going to help you have a little bit of play to be able to mount the calipers and everything else on here. I had to loosen everything back up on the other side, so just leave it together but not super tight. Go back and torque everything at the very end. Brushing on some anti-seize now. That's going to help the rotor come off better in the future. Time to slide these big boys on here. I'm going to throw a lug nut on here to hold this rotor into place. What that's going to do is keep it nice and straight while you're trying to put the caliper on. You're not going to have to fight it wanting to flop around. Throw the brake pads into the caliper. Just want to make sure you keep that backing plate on there. You'll know if you don't, it'll squeal. Force it on a little bit. It's already got built-in clips and everything, so you don't have to fight all those clips that come with factory brakes that you replace all the time. Pretty nice setup, as you can see. Let's go throw it on the truck. So now I've slid on the caliper over here. Slides on very easy because there's no compression on the pistons or anything. I've got the top bolt started. Don't forget your thread lock. You can go ahead and put the bottom one in now. You're going to torque these to 62 foot-pounds. And at that point, you can come back here and do the other bolts for the caliper bracket, and they're going to be torqued on at 150 foot-pounds. Don't forget your thread lock on everything. So what's left now is moving the actual brake line over from the old caliper to the new one. Yes, it's messy. Not going to show you guys that. There's a ton of videos out there on YouTube on bleeding brakes that are way better than I'm going to make. So go watch one of those if you need to know how to bleed brakes. We're going to switch this line over, bleed the brakes, throw the wheel back on. Make sure that you got clearance when you throw your wheel back on the first time. You don't want to ram your wheel into these nice calipers, but you already checked that, didn't you? We're going to go run these tests as soon as we're finished here. Let's go see how these work.
So here's the factory brake test, stopping from 60 to 0.
This is a little bit downhill, but it's all going to be the same before and after. So let's see what happens here. Locked them down. Not too bad. All right, let's do run 2. make this third run. It's as close as we can get it, but this is not super scientific. Starting to fade a little bit on that last one.
Now we're going to show you the APB Big Brake Kit stopping test.
5 days, about 300 miles on these brakes. They're bedded in pretty good. 500 would have been optimal to get them fully bedded in and everything, but we're going to go test them out now and see how they do. Run number 1, here we go. All right, let's go for run number 2 now. All right, I'm gonna give it everything I got this time. I'm gonna try to slam them on right as we hit the line and see absolutely what is the best we can do. Let's go. Man, it's hard to hold stuff down in here. I mean, I've got a few things in here I've tried to keep from being everything laying loose, but man, stuff just goes flying when you slam the brakes on. Man, that's like 30.5 feet better on average stopping distance. I mean, these brakes are amazing.
All right, Sam wants my reaction from 60 to 0. Here we go. Just hanging on to a camera, just me and a camera.
You ready?
Mm-hmm, ready.
You ready?
I'm super ready. Oh my goodness! Holy crap! Son of a biscuit eater!
How was that? I mean, that'll sling your brain through your forehead, won't it?
Averaging 30-foot difference on stopping, it really surprised me. That's a lot better than I thought it would be. How do these things drive daily?
I mean, if you're just driving around, you wouldn't notice that they're any different than your factory brakes. It's when you have to get into the brakes, you can really make that big differentiation, you know? So, I mean, for a daily, I mean, it's not like you're putting race car brakes on something and it's hard to drive anymore.
How's it going to do towing?
It's going to be great for towing, a whole lot less fade. I mean, I'm going to be able to get stopped faster, obviously. You know, a lot of times you put big brakes on something and you start having squealing and stuff. You know, now I haven't had these on here but 300-ish miles right now, so long term, you know, after a little bit of time, maybe there's a little noise, but so far, nothing. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. So
I think one thing we got to put out there is this repeatability was within half a foot 3 times in a row. The consistency's crazy. These things are awesome. Yeah. Guys, if you want some APB brakes, check out the link down in the description. That, like we said, they do make them for other vehicles other than the F-150. They're freaking sweet. Check out the full build playlist on Sam's truck. We call it the Hammer. Put it right here over my face.
Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.